Going insane's more like it.
Welcome back to the Broken Home Podcast. Thank you for joining us again. Tonight, we got another special guest. We got Jay Morin. How you doing tonight, Jay?
Nah, I'm not too bad, guys. What's going on? I'm glad to be here.
Right on, Dad. Thanks for joining us, bro. Why don't we start off with, introduce us. Where are you from?
From Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Born and raised, been here my whole life. Yeah.
What about family life when you were growing up? Brothers, sisters?
I got a couple brothers on my dad's side, a couple brothers on my mom and my stepdad's side. Growing up was crazy, bro, you know? My parents were separated, like, before I was born. I seen my dad, you know, here and there. My mom got with my stepdad when I was, like, 2 years old. It was good for the first few years, you know? By the time I was, like, 7 or 8, he started, like... There was some abuse, you know what I mean? Some physical abuse. And that went on for years, you know what I mean? And they thought they could, like, buy it back, you know, like, buy me stuff. And by the time I was, like, 14 years old, I started getting in trouble. I was stealing cars with my boys and doing this and that. By the time I was 15, I started fighting back. And I gave the old man, you know, a fun day at the office. I ended up in the hospital with, like, I went to punch him and I missed. I was drunk. It was I started that whole one, but it was like, you know, I'm big now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was giving it to him pretty good, and I took a swing at him at the back door, and I put my hand through the stormed window, and I didn't even realize I was bleeding. I was so drunk. I put my hand on the car to put my shoes on. The whole hood was covered in blood. I guess I, like, cut through the main artery. I had like 180 stitches.
Oh.
But I went to one of my homies' houses. Like, they followed a blood trail like 1.5 kilometers. I went to a store. I called a cab. I went to my homie's house. He lived, like, out in the boonies. And his mom was like, "Oh, Jay, you got to go to the hospital. You got to go to the hospital." I was like, "Fuck, I was on bail. Like, I'm not going to the hospital, you know?" So I took off from his house, and I guess I passed out in the ditch. Like, I lost so much blood. I passed out in the ditch, and I woke up at the hospital, and in my pocket, I had my buddy's ID, his health card. So he came and found me. They were asking me, like, what happened. I told them that I was cutting something with a circular saw, and the blade broke, and it cut my arm. Just bullshit, right? Like something I would never say now. But the cops came there because I didn't know the mom's maiden name, none of that shit. When they asked me, and I didn't look like my buddy.
Yeah.
So the cops came, but it was cool. I was on bail for my parents, but it was Friday night, and there's no JP till Monday, so they didn't want to press charges. They just wanted to pull my bail. So they did that, but they couldn't do it till Monday. So they're like, turn yourself in on Monday. I got out of the hospital. A year later, I got picked up for that. But
man, it sounds like right off the hop, you did not have the ideal childhood growing up.
You know what? It's crazy, bro. Because, like, my parents they're not, like, well off, but they're like upper middle tier. You know what I mean? And I was the only kid for a long time. And then till I was like 12, I think. Yeah, 12. And, like, they bought me anything and everything I wanted. So it looked like I had, like, a privileged sort of life. You know, I was in every sport, this and that. But, like, there was a time he shook me out of my jeans. Like, picked me up and shook me out of my jeans, dropped me on my head, and said, like, I told you to pull up your fucking pants. I buy your fucking clothes, right on my head. You know what I mean? I was probably 10, maybe 9, you know? So yeah, like it looked good, but it was a little fucked up. I don't talk to them no more, man. I don't talk to them. I wrote them off when I went to prison. I wrote them a 10-page letter and, like, poured my heart out and said, you know, it's only me and you here. You can't lie to me. You know what I mean? I was there.
How long have you written them off at this point?
6 years.
6 years.
6.5. But I haven't really seen them for a year and a half, too, before that, because they were mad at me, you know?
so you were fairly young when you were getting in trouble. Did you think it was, I'm going to just jump right in. Do you think it was more for attention for your mom as a way to get back at your dad? Like how was that dynamic? Like, did you have a closer relationship with your mom? What was that like?
You know what, bro? I did, like, for the longest time, because, like, bro, he beat her up too. Like, I jumped in the mix of that, and I caught my own end of it for doing that. But I jumped in the middle a lot. Listen, to be talking about another man, like, bro, I haven't been perfect in all my situations. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
like, I've never beat my kids. That's not what I'm saying. I would never
Yeah.
beat my kids. Like, he's a goof for that. He would leave, like, she would kick him out, or we would go stay somewhere else, me and just my mom. This is like before my brother and sister, so pre 11 years old, right? So we would go and stay somewhere else, or like they would get in a fight. Like he's fucked up. Like, he's better now. He's older, and you know what? I wish I could have that relationship with him now. He's done some creepy shit. Like, we used to live in a building. We lived on the second floor, and me and my mom were gone out somewhere. She was drinking it up at her friend's house, and I was playing with the kids. You know those gigs, right?
Yeah.
And he went home. They got in a fight or something. And he was fucking being nosy about something for the people upstairs and leaning over the balcony. Buddy fell off the balcony, broke both arms, both legs, had pins and needles arms in his. He had like 20 pounds. Yeah, you know. And he always used to act like a tough guy and stuff, and like fight with me when I was younger, right? Just before I got popped this time. I got into a little altercation with my baby mom. I spit on the ground, and she punched me in the back of the head. My mom came over, started hitting me. Then he runs over. Okay, and there's a big crowd of people, and I'm the whole time going, "Yo, you guys stop! What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I mean?" Because I know I'm going. I'm going guaranteed if the cops come. He came, and I just seen red, so I grabbed him. I just started hitting him. Like 3 guys were trying to grab my arm off, and when they got off, I grabbed his hair. So I kept hitting him. I gave him another 5 or 6, and then they backed off. So I'm gone. I leave. Long story short, my baby mom, who she's whatever, bro, but she decides not to write a statement or press charges. This guy fucking wrote a statement on me and pressed charges for assault after he beat me my whole entire life. Do you know what I mean?
Slimy.
Like I was in fear of that man, bro. Like in fear of that man, like, and mental abuse like crazy.
Yeah.
Was this the first time that you kind of, got one over on him, and maybe he wrote that statement, just because, like, a little pissed off that the kid got one over on him?
It wasn't not the first time. No, it wasn't the first time. Like, I tuned him up a couple times. Okay. But like, he should have known not to approach me in that situation. First of all, he should have known that. He's known me my whole life.
Yeah.
He should have known that. And I mean, you know what? Like, even though I'm not talking to him, and even though all the shit, I love them both. Like, I have lots of love for them. But it's just something. It's a relationship that's so toxic. So after I was on bail for that stuff, right? My mother was not involved in the situation. Okay, I had a do not contact on my baby mom and do not contact on my stepmom. So on my stepdad. My kid had a first communion. I was there, obviously, but I gave everybody distance, her family, everything. But I had to like sit with my baby. It was weird, like, okay. And afterwards, I was about 5 feet from my mother. I had to listen. My stepfather had came up to me and shook my hand and this and that. I'm 5 feet away from her. I said, "Hey, Mom." And she turned around and said, "Oh my God, you can't be within 100 meters of me." And she started freaking out in a fucking church, bro. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so hurt. I was like, nah, this is, So I just wrote them off. But I didn't disrespect them in the letter. I just said a bunch of facts, politely wished them well.
Sometimes that's the best way to do, is to just have to remove somebody from your life, even if it is family. Like, I have toxic family members as well, and I had to step back and just say, I cannot be involved with this no more, because I'm my own person and I have a family I got to watch out for. I'm just going to get in trouble dealing with you still. Right. And if they can't understand it, they can't understand it.
It's like I got a team of people, a group of people that have known me my whole life. but only judge me on a certain part of it. And bro, they're on speed dial with the cops if I'm near them. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't do anything wrong, bro. I've changed my life 1,000,000%. Like, I've
Yeah.
changed my life where, like, I don't want drama with nobody. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a bitch, but I mean, I don't want drama. I don't want to argue. I don't want to play games. Yeah, I might troll some people on TikTok, but that's just for fun, bro. Like, it's not
Yeah.
real. I'm not going to your house. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get me that wild. Like, I'm not like that anymore. My girl calmed me down so much. I got so much to live for now, bro. Even my PO is like, yo, you're doing amazing. Like,
It sounds like you had to completely change that mind state, and that's exactly what I had to do. I had to basically just step out of that my old body and take a look at the world through different eyes and
yeah,
realize I cannot act like this no more. I cannot go off the line because then I'm gone forever. So having
right,
that mind
bro.
state.
Bro, it's been close a couple of times where I thought, oh shit, like, but back in the past,
Yeah.
bro, there's been some close situations. Two of my old best friends, like my partner, he turned to be a big snitch, but they allegedly killed a guy. And, like, I was supposed to go out with them that night, bro, when this allegedly happened. Like, there was another situation that was kind of similar, but like that, and it didn't end the same way. And like, fuck, I think back, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, I wasn't this time in prison. Like, I had been out of trouble since from 2002 when my daughter was born. I got out. I missed my daughter's birth because of stupid shit, right? And I got out when she was like 6 months old, 6 months old. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing this no more. And I went straight. I worked at the Chrysler plant for 10 years. I was doing my thing, you know what I mean? I was in the union. And my life just changed because just problems with my baby mom, problems at home. So I left. And the job ended up paying me out some money and like severance shit, whatever. And then I started selling dope, right? Like, I'd always sold weed, always, my whole life. I sold weed, whatever. But this was I needed some cash. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
needed cash. And someone came to me and said, yo, I'll put you on, right? Like, so I started selling.
You've been in prison. You were getting in trouble. What was the first major time that you got in trouble with the law?
Major time. Well, when I was 14, me and like my buddy got beat up at school. My best friend in the world, BJ Lee. His name is Bruce Lee. Okay,
Nice.
he's my best. I haven't seen him in a few years now since I went away. I hope you're doing well, bro. But he moved and he went to a new school, and I guess he got beat up at school by a couple kids, new kids. So he told me where the kids lived, and me and my buddy, we got on the bus with a baseball bat, thinking we were gangsters, and we went to the house and bang, bang, bang on the door, and like, I guess his older brother came on and just grabbed me. And the bat and me were useless now, right? I'm a 14-year-old kid. He's a grown man, and.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went to the police station out there in Dundas, and my parents ended up picking me up. No charges filed, but that was like the first, that was the jump off, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There is a large gang presence in Hamilton still, is there not?
Yeah. There's like some blood and crip stuff or whatever, but
When I lived in London, a friend of ours went to Hamilton. His name was Adam, and he had a couple rival dudes show up at his house with machetes. Machetes was the big thing back then, and they
yeah, the
hacked his brother
OBB,
up. What's
yeah,
that?
the OBB,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And they hacked his brother up in the shower. Like that, it was.
oh no.
Oh yeah, it was fucked up.
I'm not saying that was anybody in particular. That's not what I meant. I meant back then in the days it was the Asian blood gangs and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When you were younger, who did you have for a role model? Like, who did you look up to?
I didn't really have too many people, but my cousin, she married a man named Dino, Portuguese guy. And my cousin Kelly was, I'd say, like 10 years older than me. She used to babysit me and whatnot. She married him, and I looked up to him. Like, I mean, I ran from, like, I ran from my house after getting beat to his house. You know what I mean? Like, he would, you know, take me in and do this stuff. He's actually one of my son's godfathers. To this day, he's not with my cousin anymore. She turned out to be a vindictive rat bitch. And yeah, she actually told me, because she would think he was at my house. There's always a fucked up story that goes with a good one, right?
Yeah.
Talking about
Yeah.
talking about role models, man. And you know, the broad got mad at him. I had a bunch of plants in his backyard, and she didn't say she was gonna call the cops. She called the cops and said that I forced them to do that. Nothing happened because you're an idiot. But then she was so mad at me, she told me, I'm not going to rest until I put you in prison for the rest of your life. I was like, I don't even know why. Like, I don't know why. Because, like, she would treat him like shit and, you know, call him names and be a cheat. And I would call her out on it because I don't give a fuck. That's my dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like my brother, right? So.
Yeah.
Like, he's a role model. He's older than me, but like, it turned out he got me a job at Chrysler where I worked for 10 years, drove into work every day together. We got super close. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I looked up to him. I still do. You know what I mean? He's handled a lot of adversity in his life too. You know what I mean? And yeah, he's a good guy. I look up to him.
Right on.
He helped me when I was a kid. Yeah.
That's right on. So let's fast forward here. You got in some trouble on and off as a youth. You're an adult. You get caught with a brick and a handgun. What happened?
That was okay.
Or is there something before that?
Oh, there's lots, bro. There's fucking
Yeah?
loads of shit before that. Yeah. Like, so when I stayed out of trouble, like, then when I said I left the marital situation I was in, you know, I wasn't married to her at all. And
Yeah.
But when I left there, like a week after I left, she called the cops on me because I smashed my own laptop. I tried to fight the cop out front. I was bombed. So that started it. I hadn't been in trouble for years. There was promise to appear, right? They bring me to the station, promise to appear. Then I ended up getting, oh man, I was with my cousin and I got in a fight with the woman I was with, an argument, and some 226ers or Wisers were on the way, and I was already drunk. We'd been drinking whiskey, and when they came, I grabbed one. I said, "This is mine," and I literally, in one pull, chugged the entire thing, bro. That's the last time I drank, buddy. It didn't even, you know that you make that face when you drink a shot, buddy.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that at all. The bottle never touched my lips. It was just like bug, 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 bug.
Might as well have been water.
Right. So I don't remember nothing from 5 minutes later, but I had someone running behind me, so they know the whole story. I went to the McDonald's drive-thru and walked up to this guy at the drive-thru window in a car and said, "Which one of you guys is?" And I don't remember the name I asked, but then I just started fighting him, and I jumped in the car and I started fighting the other guy and his buddy in the back. And I guess I knocked one of their teeth out, so it was assault causing bodily harm. Then I was running through the park, and this is all, I'm getting all this fed back to me, and it's in the police report. I went up somebody's fire escape in their apartment, came out the front door and started running again. Okay. and then the cops got me. So I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I'm so sore, like the sorest I've ever felt in my life. And I'm like, fuck. So I had a warrant for breach. So I thought, oh, I guess I got picked up last night. Fuck, I must have been bombed. I go into video court. They're like, okay, you're charged with assault causing bodily. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? So that happened. I did some time for that. Then I got out on bail. I did it like a couple months. I got out on bail on it. Then, so I remember I got that other charge from before. I got these new charges. Now I get into that thing I was telling you about at the baseball park. I catch 2 assaults for that. And then I got in 3 high-speed chases. in my own vehicles, got away every time, but they were charging me with it. I could have beat it. But it ended up being packaged together. I got weekends. I did a year. I did 9 months in. This is in like 2015. Then I got weekends. I was doing weekends. Fucked up the weekends. Started selling dope like before the weekend started. Got up where I was, I was moving a few units a week, whatever. Got tricked into selling fentanyl. I was told it was China White. I didn't know much about heroin. I've never done an opiate in my life. Anyways, a bunch of people ratted on me, like a bunch. Like I had 4 sources, okay, and in that, oh, there was so much stuff. Like I'm not even gonna say who I think it was. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going there right now. You know what I mean? But they got me with like I don't know, half a brick of crystal, a few ounces of Fetty, which shouldn't even have been Fetty. It was like a couple grams. The cops got me for like thousands and thousands of dollars. Hamilton police can, you know, you know what I mean? But yeah, I had a few ounces of coke, a few ounces of Fetty, half a brick. They got the pistol under my pillow, okay? And I had just woke up, buddy. Listen, I had 8 cameras on my house. I didn't look at one of them. I panicked. Crystal, if you put it in water, it just dissolves. So I had a big bucket of water there, right? Like just in case, always. Didn't even attempt to put it in it, right? And I'm way up in the attic. So they kicked the door off. They knocked the door off. And there was about 12 of them, full tactical gear. Buddy, the whole house was shaking. I didn't know what the fuck it was at first. And the whole house was shaking. At first I went to reach for the strap. I thought it was, somebody coming to rob me.
Yeah.
But the whole house was shaking, and I heard police. So, whoa, I'm not touching that, right? I'm not touching the thing with the police coming. They'll just shoot me. So the person that was there with me, my co-accused, went to the stairs right away. And I just, honestly, they didn't even come up the stairs. Like, expecting a standoff, right? Because just the way that the house is. So I was in my underwear, for fuck's sakes. I just came down the stairs, sat down. I had like 10 beams on me. Boom, 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 boom. Then, yeah, it wasn't a good day. I started fucking with them right away, telling them my lawyer's a beast and this and that. I was stupid, bro. I thought I was a gangster at that minute in time. I thought I was a gangster. Like I thought, yo, look at me, I'm a brick man. Like, yo, I'm doing my thing. Like I got whatever I need. I'm driving this Mercedes, that, da 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 da. Me and my buddy bought a Lambo yesterday. Like, you know what I mean? My buddies, I was with him. He paid 128 cash, just like it was nothing. You know what I mean? And I just thought I was a boss, right? Thinking I just had to step it up another level. And buddy, I wish I did not do that. Like, I guess in one sense of the word, like I do say I'm glad I went because I met my now partner, my fiance, 2 years into my bit, like on a fluke, on an accident. And now we talked every day and the visits and stuff. But I've been living here for, I don't know, basically since I've been out. Like I did 6 months and a half, but I was only there from 11 at night to 6 in the morning. I was here, and, but on the other hand, man, like broken relationships and stuff, like,
and meeting her when you're in prison, did that give you just that motivation to get the hell out of there?
Definitely did. It was like, bro, I tell this to a lot of people. I'll remember this forever. So any other time I've been in trouble, I had people there at my court dates, this and that and the other. And yeah, I had people there at some of the court dates, but okay, I was getting sentenced to 8.5 years, bro. I had never done more than a year. Okay, and that was a long time ago. I remember, like, I knew my deal. I was getting 8.5 years. I knew it. There was no questions, no anything, unless the judge threw something weird. I knew what I was getting. So I was prepared. And I was ready, bro. 2 months after the first 2 months I was in, I was scared. I was looking at 16 years. And that's what I ended up getting, 16, but it's like consecutive and concurrent, so they offset each other. And it ended up being 8.5
like is my sentence. But I was ready for it. But when I looked around and there wasn't one person, not even other people, it was weird. It was right empty, other than the benches and me and the judge. And it crushed me. It crushed me. Like it was like, fuck, like I got nobody.
Yeah.
Like no one, which isn't true. Like I have my one homie, Lucas. Like Lucas he's a G, bro. He's my boy. Like he took care of me when I was in, sent me money whenever I needed. Cause like I wasn't asking my spouse, my partner that I met while I was in for $1. You know what I mean? While I was in, I'm not doing that. Cause right away, that's what they have in their mind. Like, oh, they're gonna use me for money. So I never asked her for $1. I wanted to prove it to her, right? That, like it's not about money. Like I sent her money. You know what I mean? She didn't need it, but I sent her money and I sent her flowers. I got my buddy to go, you know what I mean? So that was good. But yeah, that court date was one of the worst moments of my life. It was just, there was nowhere to go down from there, right? So when I got that sentence, I got a little wild. You know what I mean? Like I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm here for I've made 8.5 years. I got nobody. Let's go. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get there and show what's up, like what I'm worth. You know what I mean? And I did that, and it just fucking made things worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, I did a bunch of whole time, like, just not necessary, right? Missing phone times and yard times and fucking healing. I'm 42 years old. I went there when I was 37, like 35 and a half or something, right? It's not the same as it used to be. Like,
yeah, man. What was the longest stretch in the hole?
When I was in YO, not YO, but before it was like 99 or 2000, so I was like 19 or 20. I did 9.5 months in the hole. Yeah, and it wasn't like I got in a big beef with someone, but it wasn't even because of that. Like, it wasn't even because of that. I just kept on, fuck you, whatever, boot my door, like, because they put you on, it's called LOAP, right? Loss of all privileges.
Yeah.
Now, you would think certain things weren't privileges. Like, they come to you, okay, first of all, your mattress is this big, buddy. It's less than an inch, and it's one of those fire retardant. It's the same as those suicide gowns. Okay, it's like 2 of those suicide gowns stuck on top of each other. Okay, but they come and get it at 7 a.m. and they bring it back to you at 7 p.m.
That's considered a luxury,
brother. In the day, you don't have nothing in your cell. You're in boxers. That's it.
Fuck.
There's nothing else in there. Loss of all privileges. But that's before. Now they did all this legislation. Bro, every 2 cells in the hole has a fucking 40-inch TV in front of it. Wow. I swear to God, in Hamilton Bucket right now, and they made 2 big, huge windows in the door. So the door is almost all windows, so you can see it, but it's always on mute unless you got like a good copper and everybody agrees on a show. And then still, it's super low, but it's right in front of your fucking door. You sit on the floor. Before, I'm sitting in the hole for months and months, and they're taking my mattress. Like I'm putting requests to get a Bible, you know what I mean? And it's taking a month,
just for something to read. Yeah, keep you busy.
Yeah. This time I didn't do too many long stretches in the hole. In federal, it's not. It's different. It's different. It's way better, bro. Where I did my last few years, cake. It's cake. Like, yeah, like a couple things go on, but I mean, you cook your own food, you go to the grocery store, you live in an apartment, basically, a 4-bedroom apartment, 2 guys to each apartment. Some of the ranges even have like 4 singles and 2 doubles, which is sick. I was in the same cell there for like 3.5 years. My whole time there, I was in the same exact cell. Like, I watched the range just go over and over and over. Like, that was my house. You know what I mean? When I was in the bucket, I got in a lot of shit. That's where I got most of my shit. And they don't even tell you that, okay, it's time to go sign your waiver, go into the pen, okay? So everybody pulls up at Joyceville, and then they're like, you're walking to the fucking, there's these 2 cages. They're like they're literally cages. and you're walking towards this cage, and they're like, "Oh no, Morin and fucking so and so, you're in that cage." I'm like, "What? What's up?" You know what I mean? And no, you guys are max. You're going to Millhaven reception. I'm like, oh, okay. So I end up in Millhaven reception, which some shit goes down there, bro.
What's some of the wildest shit that you saw go on that you'd be willing to talk about?
I seen a guy, he was a bully. This was in reception. He was all right with me, bro. He did a couple tattoos on me, like showing me respect, da da da. But like he bullied some of these other guys, right? I was a range rep on the range, which is like people vote for you, whatever, or you just sign up at your job. That's my pay. Everybody's locked up all day. I'm out. I'm out all day. My cell doors open all day. I do my shit. So there's another cleaner out with me, and then a couple people will come out at server time. But other than that, no one gets out till 5. And then you only get out for 2 hours, and the other side of the range gets out for 2 hours. This guy was bullying some people, so they had it all set up. They froze like literally one of these with water, froze it, and put it in a pillowcase. And the guy was on the phone, and buddy, I say to myself, because I didn't want no part of it, right? Because they'll shoot tear gas right on the range, and then they'll start firing bullets, right? Like they will do it straight up in the gym. There's bullet holes all in the walls. They'll shoot you. And they love to throw tear gas. I don't know why. Buddy I was in my cell. There's a crack in the door, so I was watching. And buddy fucking baseball batted him with the frozen thing, and his head just exploded, like just ripped open. But he like started fighting, like because he's a kind of big dude. Yeah, but he started fighting. First, he's like, yo, guys, we can talk about this, right? Because, yeah, whatever. Of course, you want to, it's 4 guys.
De-escalate.
Yeah, right? But then they swung it again, hit him a couple times, like, not in the face, though. Then he grabbed a broom and snapped it and came to one of them. And those guys ran. I swear to God, those guys ran down the range. And one guy almost got caught. Like, he tried to get in, and the doors automatically all closing. And he tried to get in the cell, and he got caught. He was trying to get through, and Buddy's running down the range after him. Like but blood everywhere. Another one on that range. Okay, there was this Inuit guy. And then another Inuit guy came, and it's his brother, okay? No one says anything about it. Like, the guy's all right, I guess, right? I don't really talk to them, but they're all right. Like, I'll talk to you at the toaster if you're making food, But I guess the brother, the new guy, jokingly poked his brother with the pen like he was stabbing him, jokingly. So he got his fucking friends together, and the new Inuit guy, he sleeps on the floor in his cell, okay, because it's cooler, right? Put your match on the floor. Yo, these guys, 3 of them, as soon as the doors cracked for breakfast, buddy, 3 of them went in there and just started stomping on his head. But he came running out and grabbed the toaster, buddy. He looked like fucking like Carrie. I don't know, like
blood everywhere.
Yeah. But he ran all the way down the ring, grabbed the toaster, smoked one guy right in the mouth with it, and another guy stabbed him. And that was intense, bro. That was intense. I seen lots of stuff, man. Lots of stuff. I got a story though that I'd like to tell.
Absolutely. Yep. The floor is yours.
Like my story of what happened in there to me, I gain a lot of weight when I go to jail. Like, I don't know if you can. I got a couple pictures here. I don't know if you can see them, but
oh yeah,
yep,
right. I'm a lot bigger.
Yeah,
yeah. So, but fat too. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm a fat fuck. So, all of a sudden, like 2019, I started at the end of 2018. I started losing crazy weight. Okay, I wasn't doing anything. I was just laying in my bed. I was doing my time on my TV and my phone, I had just started talking to my now girl, my fiance, and I started losing crazy weight. So, and my eyes were going fucked up, like a little blurry. I'd always had perfect vision. And I thought nothing of it, but I put in a request like end of month one. Like I'd lost 10, 15 pounds. My body's not right. Can you guys see me? Slough me off. Another month goes by. It's getting worse. Now I've lost 30 pounds. Okay. So over an 8-month period, I put in 30 requests. Okay, that one unanswered, and half of them said, "Please, can I please have a blood test? Something's wrong with my body." At the end, it was I lost 80 pounds. Then I'd lost 100 pounds. Okay, so they're going on. Oh, we think it's your thyroid, but never ever tested me in any capacity. I'm on the range and I see someone testing their blood sugar. So I'm like, "Yo, bro, let me use that." He's like, "Yeah, yeah." So I did it, and it just said high, no number. I'm like, what the fuck? I did it 7 times in a row. Pricked my finger. It just said hi. I went to the phone. I called her. I said, "What does that mean?" That fucking means she's my girl's a nurse. She's a mental health nurse. But she's a nurse. She said that means get to the hospital. Your blood sugars. That means it's over 36. Okay, it's supposed to be between like 4 and 6. Okay.
Yeah.
I tell them at the desk, "Oh, now it's an emergency." Boom, the ambulance is there. Like they were, or no, not the ambulance. They drove the fucking paddy wagon down to the thing, and they drove me because they're fucking goofbirds in the tiny little thing, man. You should see the size of this. It's like sitting in a little kiddie ride at the fair. Like it's ridiculous. So they rushed me to the hospital. You got diabetes, okay? So all right, woohoo, diabetes. Yeah, I did that to myself, but you know what? Over time, I did that to myself, but now I'm like, this is just the beginning in my head. Like they fucked up. Like this has been 8 months. Like how's my body, taking this last 8 months of fucking just spiked full of sugar, like, producing no insulin. Then my eyesight starts getting worse. So we're in like 2020, the end of 2020. Yeah. They finally bring me to an optometrist because my eyes were getting bad, like bad, bad, bad. A week after they brought me to the optometrist, he said you have it's called like rapid advanced cataracts or something. It's from the diabetes. About a week after that, I woke up one day and I couldn't see out of my right eye at all. Zero. And then I said something happened when you guys tested me or something, and they sent me back that day to the place. But he's like, "No, it's just gonna get worse, and probably before your surgery, it's gonna be both eyes, And then a couple more months passed, and I went totally blind, and I was totally 100% blind for 7 months. Like couldn't see anything, not light, not dark, not anything. Okay, and they didn't even move me from the top floor. I was blind. They were supposed to get me a stick, one of those sticks that blind people have. They were supposed to get me one of those. It came the day before I went for my surgery. After I had my surgery, I was there for still 5 more months. I had surgery on one eye. They can only do it one at a time. And after I had my surgery, they never checked on my eye once, not once. There was no follow-up. Not from the time he took the scalpel off my eye, ever was there ever a follow-up. Like they never even asked, "How's your eye?" Like the healthcare at the thing, right? Like they just, bro, they sloughed me off so bad. So yeah, there's an active huge lawsuit.
That's human cruelty right there.
Oh, brother, it's so much neglect in the very, very least. And they're trying to put up a defense to this. I have the 30 requests signed by them,
Yeah.
and nothing done. And it took 8 months to diagnose, and I'm begging for a blood test. There's never one done. It's crazy. And then I was still, when I got out, I could only see out of one eye for a couple months. And then I had the second surgery. They made me still drive. I'm on parole and everything. They made me still drive all the way down to Gravenhurst. They didn't get it. Just stupid, man. And there was never a follow-up with them either. But my vision's fucked. Like it's not like at first it seemed like it was HD. You know what I mean? Like when I got it back, that's a trip. And it was literally the second they pulled away with the scalpel, I could see.
You lost that much weight. Was there any other symptoms or factors that the diabetes was causing? Was it just the eyesight and weight loss?
That's what I noticed. There was other stuff too, like they put me on that they did deal with, you know. Like they put me on way too much gabapentin. You know what I mean? Like they did that, which I don't take anymore at all. I got off that when I got out.
When you're getting out of prison, are you coming out with a mindset that it's all got to change? You got a plan, or are you angry or relieved?
No, no, no. You know what? I got out so thankful, bro. So thankful for like the people that came into my life, you know, thankful that I got to, it took me a long time, bro, but I got to mature. I don't have that anger anymore. Since I met her, man, it was almost instant. Like even with her, she'll lose it on me and I won't even say nothing back. I'll just be like, okay, I don't have time for drama. I don't have time for nonsense. Sometimes I have a little bit of a fucking like, you know what I mean? But who doesn't, right?
Yeah,
but I mean,
exactly.
not nine times out of 10, I'm gonna just laugh at a comment instead of like on TikTok. Sometimes I go off a little bit. Maybe you've seen it. I don't know. You know what I mean? But in real life, bro, like I just want to chill. I just want to, do my thing. I want to enjoy life. I want to love the people that love me back, and I just don't want people to like come into my world that don't deserve or want to be there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
before we call it night here, we always ask all of our guests to give a positive message to the youth, something that you wish you learned before having the challenges you had to face. What do you got to say to them?
Kids these days, man, they have it's bad enough if they have a single parent home or they're in foster care or whatever. But now, starting at 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, there's a stigma. You got to be a gangster. Okay? Everybody's got to be a gangster. And what up, Prody? And what up, Wody? And what up, this? And what up, that? Listen, kids, man, be independent. Start your own trends, okay? Because it's not cool to be a gangster. It's not cool to get the blicky and stuff or whatever they call it nowadays. You know what I mean? It's not, bro. It's not. You're going to snap out of that phase, and I hope it's not too late. I hope you haven't hit that 18-year-old mark where they're going to give you numbers that are going to stay on your file forever. They're going to stay there forever and ever. There's so many problems with getting a pardon these days. It used to be 7 years, write a letter. Listen, I wrote a letter after 7 years. They told me reply in 3 years. Okay. I wrote a letter after those 10 years. They told me reapply in 2 years. And then I started getting in trouble again. Just please, like, just have respect for one another. Dress how you want, but leave the attitude at the door. You know what I mean? Absolutely. You don't have to be gangsters. Nobody's got to be a gangster. Just get your education. Stay on those computers. I don't care what anybody says about screen time. Computers are the future. And I mean, like, you can be writing code and stuff and getting paid big bucks. So just ask those extra questions and go that extra mile. And I hope the best for all of them. I just want to say, like, if my kids see this, I love you guys very much. And my stepkids too. I want to show them my stepkids. I have a lot of kids, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a lot of kids. I haven't said how many kids I got. I got a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old stepdaughter, a 17-year-old stepson, a 16-year-old stepdaughter. Okay. I have a 14-year-old son, a 12-year-old son, a 9-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old daughter.
Man, that's almost a baseball team right there.
Right? It's 8 of them.
Wow.
If I go out there, we can play a game, 9 to the field, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Anybody you want to give a shout out before we close her down tonight?
What's your TikTok?
Name,
What's your
TikTok? My TikTok name is Penitentiary Rules Canada, all one word. Backed up is Penitentiary Rules Canada 2. I got lot of videos up. I even got a couple that are over 1 million. Well, actually, I got one that's over 1 million. Okay, I got one at 1.5. But I'm hitting some good numbers. Okay. So
JJ.
Awesome, man.
It's been a
Thanks
pleasure.
for coming on tonight. We'll have you
All right.
back on to get into some fucking deep stories next time.
all right,
And
bro.
we'll take it from there, bro. Take care. Thank you very much.
All right, man. Love and respect, boys.
You too, bro. Take care. Thanks for tuning
Later.
in tonight, everybody. Broken Home Podcast. Good night.
Later.